You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, I'm Seth Peterson.
Hi, I'm Tippi Hedren.
I'm Rhonda Schwartz.
I'm Doris Roberts.
This is Jessalyn Gilson.
Hello, I'm Victor Webb.
Hi, this is Charlotte Ross.
Hi, this is Ed Begley Jr.
What's up, you guys? This is AJ from the Backstreet Boys.
Hi, this is Shannon Elizabeth, and you're listening to Talkin' Pets.
Talkin' Pets.
Talkin' Pets.
And you're listening to Talkin' Pets.
Talking Pets.
Talkin' Pets.
With Jon Patch.
Jon Patch.
You're listening to Talkin' Pets with Jon Patch.
Hello, America, and welcome to Talkin' Pets with your host, Jon Patch. Join Jon and his expert guests with all of your pet questions, concerns, comments, and stories. Now it's time for Talkin' Pets with your host, Jon Patch.
And welcome to Talkin' Pets, heard coast to coast on your favorite radio station. This is Talkin' Pets, and I'm Jon Patch. Joining us is
Dr. Suzanne Topper
from Livingston Animal and Avian Hospital out of Lutz, Florida. The show is produced in-house by the ever-so-lovely and talented Miss Lexi Lapp.
Hello.
Hi, Lexi.
Hi.
And, of course, answering your calls when you call in to 844-287-2876 is none other than the bear himself, Mr. Zach Buden.
Don't act like you're not impressed.
844-287-2876. That's Zach's. You'll talk to him when you call in. But we got a special guest joining us in this hour. His name is Fred Kaufman, and he's the executive producer for the acclaimed nature series. Of course, we're going to be talking about the penguins out there, so stay tuned for that. It's Penguins Spy in the Huddle. So stay tuned. We're going to find out a little bit more about that when it's going to be broadcast on television. So we'll be speaking with Fred in just a couple of minutes, but we welcome your calls and your questions as well at 844-287-2876. But once again, I'm Jon Patch.
and I'm Dr. Sue Topper.
I'm Lexi Lapp.
And the bear.
And this is Talkin' Pets. For 2 decades, Fred Kaufman has been a leading executive in the natural history genre. As the executive producer of the acclaimed nature series, Kaufman has won multiple Emmy and Peabody Awards. We want to welcome him onto the program of Talkin' Pets, Mr. Fred Kaufman. Hey, Fred, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Jon.
It's great to have you on the show. I want to introduce you to Dr. Suzanne Topper and our producer, Lexi Lapp.
Hi.
Hi, Fred.
Hi.
And, of course, the rest of America that's tuning in right now to Talkin' Pets, and we're going to be talking with you, Fred, about Penguins Spy in the Huddle. There's a lot going on with this series. It's a 3-part series, I'm correct? Is that right?
Yes.
Tell us, first of all, a little bit about you, because personally, I've been reading up a little bit about your background, and all I can say is, wow, quite impressive.
Well, Jon, I'm sort of the least likely person to be doing what I'm doing. I grew up in the Bronx, New York, and I was a Yankee fan and had no interest really in the outdoors, knew very little about it.
Good man.
I was going to say, when you said Yankee fan, Fred, I was like, I knew Zach was going to say something, but if our executive producer, Bob Page, was here, he'd be like, he'd be turning your mic off or something because he's a Red Sox fan.
Well, we love to be hated, but in any case, after college, I took journalism, and after college, I was looking for a job, and back in 1982, so this is over 30 years ago, they were starting the Nature series on PBS, and I got a job, and I got hired for about 6 months, and I thought, I'll get some experience and move on to what I really want to do, which is sports. And lo and behold, 32 years later, I'm still with Nature. So I never really studied natural history. My background isn't in it, but I must say I'm probably one of only among a handful of people who've seen more natural history films than anybody else.
Wow. It's amazing how life kind of takes you around, because when I started in college, I wanted to be like Dr. Suzanne Topper here, a veterinarian. That didn't work out for me. So I ended up in broadcasting, and so then I graduated in broadcasting, and I tried all of my being to get into television back then, and you're talking back in the 1980s. It was tough. I mean, I got that catch-22. Okay, you got your degree, but you don't have the experience, and it was really tough to get in, and I ended up getting into radio, and 30 years later, I'm still in radio, and I'm hosting a pet show.
There you go.
So it's kind of interesting. But, some of the many of nature's most memorable presentations have been produced by you, Fred Kaufman. And Bears of the Last Frontier, Christmas in Yellowstone, Deep Jungle, Africa, Hummingbirds, Magic in the Air, Dogs That Changed the World, My Life as a Turkey, Inside the Animal Mind, Echo, An Elephant to Remember, and Cloud, Wild Stallion of the Rockies.
Right.
Those are just some of the things that you've been involved with, but you've worked with so many different species out there. I would imagine that your education on all these different kind of creatures like bees and trees and everything else has been phenomenal. But the one thing that really kind of jumped out at me, and I guess because of present time, besides what we're talking about with the penguins, is you did a series, I believe, with some celebrities, and one that you did was dolphins with Robin Williams.
Right.
What was that like? Because he's a remarkable man.
Well, we did a series that was called In the Wild, and we had Robin Williams, and we had Julia Roberts, and Anthony Hopkins, and Meg Ryan, and really a load of A-list celebrities. And basically we went to them and said, if you could have an encounter in the wild with any animal you want, what would it be? And so they would come back to us with what they would want to do, and Robin Williams wanted to do something with dolphins. And so it was a wonderful show. He was excited and enthused, but here's the thing that nobody knows. We were shooting in the Bahamas at a research facility there. And, of course, celebrities of that caliber, you have to fly them first class and put them up and everything. He flew himself in his private jet to the Bahamas at no cost to us.
Wow.
So he got himself there. He did the work we needed him to do, and then he left. And it was very generous of him to do that and not burden the production because, as you know, we're PBS and we just don't have an endless stream of money to do that kind of thing. So it was very generous of him. And he swam with wild dolphins, and it was just hysterical. First of all, we all know how funny he was, but, when he needed to be serious and sort of convey information, he did that as well, and he was so sincere and gentle, and the show is probably one of my favorite shows.
He made us laugh for so many years. That's like a true talent that has been lost. And, and that's the one thing, there's several people that I've met and had the privilege of meeting through Talkin Pets and like Betty White, for instance, and even Joan Rivers and all, and that was one of the things that they said is that's what makes them continue on. Betty's 92 now, and she says what makes her happy is to make people laugh.
Yeah.
So I would imagine the same thing with Robin. But also to develop and fund programming, you, Fred, have forged major international co-production partnerships with the BBC and National Geographic Television, and has collaborated with Monterey Bay Aquarium and the San Diego Zoo, which I know quite well, and Wild Animal Park. And you continue with your filmmakers and scientists from around the world. But you're a member of the Directors Guild of America and the Writers Guild of America as well. So your credentials are fantastic.
Well, nature films, the kind you watch on PBS, cost usually at a minimum $500,000, and they go well beyond that. And because nature films are appreciated all over the world, because for the most part you just take out the narration and you put in the narration in the language of the country you're selling it to, it travels anywhere you go. And so we always look for co-production partners to help split the cost with us.
Well, 13's Penguins Spy in the Huddle, a nature special presentation. It's debuting on Wednesday, September 24th, 2014 on PBS. We're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to be able to experience by watching this penguin encounter with Mr. Fred Kaufman, of course, the executive producer of the series. We'll be right back. We're going to take a little break. We'll continue on with Fred. Fred, don't go away. We have a lot more to talk about.
Okay.
We're also going to give away a couple compliments of the Nature PBS, so we're going to give away some DVDs, so stay tuned for that. Matter of fact, let's give one away right now. So for the number 3 caller, the third caller to call into 844-287-2876, compliments of the BBC Earth and Penguin Spy in the Huddle. Of course, Nature PBS, you're going to get a copy of the series. And we'll talk a little bit about what you're going to see with these penguins, because there's 3 different species we're going to be talking about with Mr. Fred Kaufman. But the third caller to come in right now to Zach at 844-287-2876. You're going to get a copy. And this is pretty cool because it's Penguins Spy in the Huddle, and the DVDs that they sent, it's got this penguin kind of jumping right out at you on the DVD, which is awesome
adorable.
in itself.
It's
it is.
3D, and there's a baby.
Yep, there's a baby in it. So this is yours. Third caller. 844-287-2876. I'm Jon Patch.
And I'm Dr. Suzanne Toper.
And I'm Lexi Lapp.
This is Talkin Pets.
We'll be right back, right after these messages. Stay tuned.
I love animals. They are my friends.
Love My Pets, the new single by Mark Winter, available on iTunes.
Pet Life Radio, the #1 pet radio network on the planet, joins forces with iHeartRadio to put the power of your pets in your pocket. Awesome! Download the iHeartRadio app and rock Pet Life Radio on your phone, on your tablet, on your Xbox, in your car. Pet talk, pet tunes, and fun pet times. Pet Life Radio and iHeartRadio. Positively Possum.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
I have learned a lot about penguins. I know they don't live in France. They live near the South Pole, near the Antarctic Circle, and I can do the penguin dance. Use your flippers as a guide as you rock from side to side. You stretch out your wings and up your chest with pride, and then you tap, tap, tap your little web toes, and that's all there is to it. That's just how it goes.
And welcome back to Talkin' Pets. I'm Jon Patch.
And Dr. Sue Toper.
Lexi Lab.
And Zach the Bear.
And we're speaking with Fred Kaufman. He is the executive producer of 13's Penguin Spy in the Huddle, a nature special presentation debuting on Wednesday, September 24th, 2014 on PBS. And it was very nice, actually, of the BBC Earth and all to send us DVDs to give away even before this is airing. And we've given one away already. So Robert in Doniphan, Missouri. Congratulations, Robert. You're going to ship this out to you, so you'll be able to watch this series. Fred Kaufman, it's a 3-part series narrated by actor David Tennant. Deploys 50 spy cams to record many first-time images of penguin behavior. Now, you guys used, like I said, there were 3 different species of penguins that you guys center the attention on. But the thing is with these spy cams, like, what were they? I heard some of them looked like penguins and rocks and eggs and stuff. Is that true?
Yeah, we had life-size penguin models that were actually designed and built by, the people who work on Hollywood feature films. And we put cameras in the eyes of these model penguins. And we put cameras disguised as rocks. Cameras were disguised as snowballs. Cameras disguised as little penguin chicks. We even had an egg cam, a penguin egg that's actually a camera. And in this kind of astonishing little moment, one of the skua, which is a predatory bird, came down thinking it was a penguin egg and wanting to predate on it, grabbed the egg, went up in the air with it, and for a few moments we have the visual from the egg cam of this bird, this camera, this egg cam in the clutches of this bird's talons flying over a penguin colony. So they were disguised as different things, and because of it, we even had a robotic penguin camera that swam under the water.
Oh.
And so it was very ambitious, and yet we got some incredible stuff, perspectives that people haven't seen before.
Now, you had the one in the bird's talons and stuff, but what about those ones that were swimming underwater? Any attacks by sea lions or anything like that?
No, but it had this little motor behind it, so it actually looked like a real penguin until it turns around. But it's got these nice perspectives of the Humboldt penguin swimming underwater.
Fred, how long of a time period did it take to get all of the footage? Like, how long did this go on?
Well, natural history films tend to take a long time. This film took about a year to shoot, which I know sounds like a long time, but actually it isn't when you're considering all the behaviors you're trying to capture over the course of the year. And one of the reasons we didn't need a whole lot of time is because we had so many cameras out there, we were able to get everything we needed in that 1 year. In fact, for the 3 hours, over 1,000 hours were filmed, which is just mind-boggling. 1,000 hours of footage to make a 3-hour film.
That's amazing.
And they ultimately handed that footage over. They shared that footage with the penguin scientists who believe they have between 5 and 10 years worth of research in all the various footage and behaviors that they've seen that was recorded.
Now, again, 13's Penguin Spy in the Huddle, a nature special presentation, debuts Wednesday, September 24th on PBS. You can actually check it out Wednesday, September 24th, October 1st, and 8th, 2014, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on PBS. Check your local listings, of course. But then after the broadcast, after it actually airs, the episodes will also be available at pbs.org/nature. So if you want to check it out there, you can as well. Now, as I promised, I was saying that we would talk about the different species of penguins, and they do vary quite a bit. Now, the first one was the Antarctica breeding ground of the emperor penguins, and that's what you centered the attention on, which I think is fascinating because one of the things, I've seen some stuff like this on these penguins, and is it true, Fred, that when the mom gives birth, that egg, if it even touches the ice, it's gone, right?
Yeah. Very, very vulnerable.
So what do they do? I mean, because I understand that you actually show birth. Am I right? At the laying of an egg?
We show the actual laying of the egg, which was a filming first. I mean, so usually you see the little chick coming out from between the mother's fur, but in this case, we actually had our camera on the mother giving birth, and then she sort of, separates her feet in a way where when the egg sort of gently drops, it doesn't go very far, but when it does come out, it sort of lands on her feet, so it never actually touches the ice.
It's amazing too how cold it is there, and the snow and the wind and the ice, and it's like there's no way I'm surviving there for a second.
Well, here's the real sort of adventure of filming in Antarctica. There were two people who were sent there, and they had to live there for 9 months because once you're there, because of the weather conditions, you can't get out. Once you're spending any time there, flights are very limited, and for the period that they were shooting, they couldn't leave. So they were shooting virtually every day in that kind of weather and unable to leave.
I don't know. I'd have to spend 2 years in the tropics after
what
that.
What kind of guy has that kind of energy and has that spirit? Well, it turns out all of that footage was shot by a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you go.
All right.
Sue's thrilled.
I'm not surprised.
It was actually a French camera woman who started as a penguin researcher, so she understood penguin behavior very well, and she was accepted down at the research station in Antarctica, and she filmed there before, and she was the logical choice to do this, and so she was familiar with what it would be like to shoot in Antarctica.
It's interesting, too, because speaking of the females, actually, the flipper fights that take part in the emperor penguins, what's that all about? They're fighting over mates?
Well, they fight over mates, and they even fight over chicks. There's one scene which is, anything penguins do looks humorous, because they waddle and they shape like footballs and they slip and they fall. So whenever they're doing anything, they kind of look funny doing it. But there was one scene which was really tense where the mothers were chasing after this one chick. We're not sure if they thought it was their chick or their chicks didn't survive, and their instinct moved them to search out another chick that they could raise. And there was one chick that was sort of off without its mother, and these mothers are sort of chasing it, and it's kind of nasty because they're sort of going after it and trying to attack it and trying to raise that instinctual drive is so strong they want to raise that chick, and the poor chick was getting knocked down, and it was like a rugby scrum. They was trying to get away, and they kept chasing it, and finally it ended up with its true mother.
This whole discussion just makes you want to watch this series. Penguin Spy in the Huddle, a nature special presentation. It's airing on 3 consecutive Wednesdays, September 24th, October 1st, and 8th, 2014 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on PBS. Check your local listings. After the broadcast, you can also check it out on pbs.org/nature. Fred, can you stay with us a couple more minutes, of course, because I want to talk about the Rockhoppers and the Humboldts.
Sure.
We'll be right back with Fred Kaufman, the executive producer of Nature, PBS. I'm Jon Patch.
I'm Dr. Suzanne Topper.
I'm Lexi Lapp.
The Bear.
This is Talkin' Pets.
Talkin' Pets. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Hi, this is Tim Link, animal communicator and pet expert and host of Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Have you ever wanted to know what your pet is really thinking? Do you want to find out if they truly understand what you're trying to tell them? Ever wish you could build a better understanding and closer relationship with your pet? Well, now you can. Learning to communicate with animals is a 4-part on-demand workshop. In the workshop, you'll learn the essential techniques that are necessary to communicate with animals, including what is animal communication, breathing correctly to achieve the perfect state to communicate with your animals at a deeper level, using guided meditation exercises and method to communicate with animals, and how to send and receive information from your animals. So if you're wanting to learn how to communicate and connect with your animals at a deeper level, visit PetLifeRadio.com/workshop and purchase and download Learning to Communicate with Animals. You'll be glad you did.
Hey there, pet parents! This is Christy Vaughn, host of The Doggy Dish. Do you love your furry companion? Do you love making him or her healthy treats but can't seem to find the time? Great news! The Doggy Dish is the perfect show for you. Every episode is chock full of healthy and easy recipes that are made with ingredients you most likely have on hand. Tune into The Doggy Dish for yummy and healthy recipes for your canine kids.
Every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
With this hour's Talking Pets news from the USA Today, here's your host, Jon Patch.
Out of Bismarck, North Dakota, wildlife officials have reduced the official weight of the gold eye caught by a 9-year-old velvet boy in July in Lake Audubon. But it is still the biggest fish of its type ever caught in the state and will be considered for a world record. The new weight, 4 pounds, 3 ounces. Dr. Sue?
In Honolulu, Hawaii, a 40-year-old man suspected of harassing an endangered monk seal last week has been charged with a felony and jailed. John?
And listen up, KBNP, our affiliate in Portland, Oregon. Federal officials have warned Oregon Health and Science University that primates at a research center are receiving inadequate care. An inspection followed an outbreak of fighting last year that injured 15 rhesus macaque monkeys and left 6 dead.
In Salt Lake City, Utah, Bureau of Land Management workers are removing 2 dinosaur tracks in Moab to prevent them from being damaged. The agency says in a statement the tracks were collected after they came away from cliff edges naturally due to erosion.
In Durham, New Hampshire may have a tiny seacoast, but that doesn't stop people from hauling out oysters. Now, the State Fish and Game Department says oyster season is open from September through May. It's only open to granite staters, and the shellfish can only be taken for personal consumption. No sales are allowed.
In Savannah, Georgia, the city is considering shutting down horse carriage tours when the temperature exceeds 98 degrees or the heat index is over 110 degrees. That's slightly lower than the existing rules.
And in Mankato, Kansas, a game warden is asking the public for help to find anyone connected to the shooting death of 7 American white pelicans. Jewell County game warden Mike Peterson says he found the federally protected bird shot to death in Lovewell Reservoir.
In Barron, Wisconsin, a 47-year-old man is due in court next month after officials discovered 25 dead cows on his farm.
And once again, you're listening to Talkin' Pets. We welcome your calls and questions, of course, at 844-287-2876. We're speaking with Fred Kaufman. He's the executive producer of course, Nature PBS. We're talking about penguins, Spy in the Huddle. That's going to be coming up on PBS, so stay tuned for that. But again, you can also check us out at talkinpets.com, TALKINpets.com, talkinpets.com. And please join us on Facebook and Twitter. At the top of the homepage there, you'll see the icons. Click on those, and you can become part of our family on a regular basis. But once again, I'm Jon Patch.
I'm Dr. Suzanne Toper.
I'm Lexi Lapp.
And if you're ever in the Florida market, you want to visit Dr. Suzanne Toper, you can do so at Livingston Animal and Avian Hospital.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof.
Didn't they use this song in one of the Penguin movies for Disney or something like that? I think they did.
I don't know.
I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
It's in Despicable Me, which I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one too. I like that movie.
I like Happy Feet.
It is a cool
Happy
movie.
Feet was a cool movie. That's the one I was thinking about.
Happy
Happy Feet. I think they did use it in that. I think they did, maybe.
Was it the second one, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was the second one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was the second one. Well, once again, you're listening to Talkin' Pets. We're speaking with executive producer for Nature, PBS. We're talking about penguins, Spy in the Huddle. And what we're going to do right now is we gave one away, of course, the DVD to Robert in Doniphan, Missouri. And we got another one here we're going to give away. So call right now at 844-287-2876. It's got a really cool penguin on the front of it. And BBC Earth was very gracious to send us these so we can give them away. So call and it's yours. 844-287-2876, but you got to be the fifth call, number 5. So the fifth call to come into Zach, our producer there at the network at ATRN, America's Talk Radio Network. Call and it's yours. 844-287-2876. And you could have the DVD Penguins Spy in the Huddle. And we were talking about the Antarctica region with the emperor penguins with, of course, Mr. Kaufman, Fred Kaufman. And now I want to find out a little bit about the Rockhopper penguins. Where are these guys located, Fred?
Falkland Islands in Argentina.
And a little bit about these guys. These guys, do they live on rocks or something? They nest in rocks?
Well, they got their name because they literally live on these sort of rocky shore, and so they jump. They frequently jump to get themselves up over the rocks. And in fact, when we first meet them coming out of the ocean, there's quite a rocky cliff that they have to scale, and it looks awful because they get up on these rocks and then a huge wave comes, knocks them down, and they keep trying, and you see how they fall, and you think, how are they getting up? How are they not injured? But they must be so incredibly well insulated with blubber that they just pick themselves up, and they keep hopping and jumping until they get above that ocean and above that cliff.
You know, it's amazing, too, in the series of Spy in the Huddle, there's some sections that you show where some of the penguins have lost their chicks to, like, predators, and other penguins, they kidnap the other ones? Babies? Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier with the emperor penguins, that the instinct to raise a chick is so strong that if you lose yours, you will look for another one because they only lay one egg. And so they invest all this time and effort into raising one offspring, and yeah.
Is that one offspring how often? Is that per year?
Yeah.
One per year?
Yeah.
Wow. No wonder why they were. That's mine. Get away. Now, also, the third part of the series, and of course, again, to reiterate, Penguins Spy in the Huddle, a nature special presentation. It's airing on 3 consecutive Wednesdays, September 24th, October 1st, and the 8th of October, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on PBS. You can check your local listings, of course, and if you, by chance, miss it then, you can watch it at pbs.org/nature. And we're speaking, of course, with Fred Kaufman, the executive producer of the series for Nature. And the other group that we're going to talk about is they're kind of a shy and rarely filmed Humboldts. Where do you find these guys?
Humboldt penguin, named after the Humboldt Current, the ocean current, and they're found in Peru. And they are shy and not easily approachable, and they live in this desert, and a couple of really noteworthy scenes. One in particular is the first time there are vampire bats that live, sort of share that habitat with them, and there's footage of a vampire bat sucking blood off a Humboldt penguin. And if you've never seen a vampire bat,
I don't think I want
walk
to.
along the ground, it's a very creepy sight to see. Their teeth are incredibly sharp. So very often, in fact, most of the time, animals don't even feel that they're being cut. This is happening at night. And they have this anticoagulant in their saliva, so your blood doesn't easily coagulate when you're cut. So it makes lapping up or drinking blood pretty easy for them.
Did any of you guys filming or anything get attacked by these vampire bats?
No.
No?
No.
You didn't have to throw dirt in their face or anything?
You know, I did a film many years ago where the cameraman did allow himself to get cut by a vampire bat.
Really?
Yeah, he sat in a chair, It was at night. It was in an area that the bats did frequent. And we had a camera on him, and he sat very, very still. And sure enough, a vampire bat. He was sitting in a chair, and his arms, his hands were just dangling beneath him. So his hand was just, less than a foot off the ground. And sure enough, a vampire bat came over and sliced his finger and started drinking the blood.
Okay, did this guy turn?
No, he's fine.
Because if you said yes, they are real. Now, some of these, the Humboldts actually had to deal with like booby bird colonies and gangs of fur seals and potentially deadly sea lions as well, correct?
Yeah, they have to navigate through. It's a real gauntlet of terror. They have to navigate to get to the ocean through this colony of sea lions that, are looking to attack them and swat them and knock them down. And these were the penguins where also these birds, they're called caracaras and skuas. I mean, they're predatory birds that are looking for any opportunity to steal and grab eggs. And with these penguins, that's the scene where a skua did come down, grab an egg. Fortunately, it was our egg cam, and took it away and ultimately dropped it and destroyed it. We had a handful of some of our animatronic cameras destroyed because, it's just the nature of the business that these things are going to get beat up and knocked over and lost.
Well, I'll tell you, I know just from this conversation, a lot of people are going to be tuning in, to watch this series. And congratulations to James out in Missouri as well. You're getting a copy of the DVD, compliments of the BBC Earth, Penguins Spy in the Huddle, and it's the Emperors, the Rockhoppers, and the Humboldts. So you can watch this on DVD video, and it's coming out to you. So, and again, if everybody wants to check it out, 13's Penguins Spy in the Huddle, a nature special presentation. It's debuting on Wednesday, September 24th, which is right around the corner, on PBS. And it also is going to be airing on October 1st and the 8th. Now, Fred, is it like each group is going to be on a different day? Is that how it is? Episode 1, 2, and 3?
No, it's actually each group is featured in each show. It's just this kind of chronology. It sort of starts when the penguins are coming to land from the ocean and they're looking for a mate, and then it goes from looking for a mate, mating, laying the eggs, and then raising the chicks. So it's this chronological story from coming to land and ultimately giving birth and raising chicks, and all 3 penguins are in each hour.
Well, Fred, it was a great honor having you on the show with us, and I want to thank you for spending the time with us and filling us in, about the series coming up. And I look forward to with your background in animals and everything, I hope to work with you again, on the show and Talking Pets here, and then let people know about what's out there.
Well, you're very nice. I appreciate it, too. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Have a great rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
That's Fred Kaufman, executive producer for Nature, PBS, of course, part of WNET in New York, so BBC. That is BBC Earth, Penguins Spy in the Huddle. The Emperors, the Rockhoppers, and the Humboldts. That's pretty cool.
It's fascinating.
He's a fascinating guy.
You can tell he is so well versed, and the cool part is, as he said, his background wasn't in it, but look at what he's learned through these years.
Through the experience of everything, and it's amazing. And his background, like I said, with some of the other stuff that he's gotten into and stuff, it's amazing. I mean, his background in film and animals and all, and everything that he's done for Nature PBS, it's really cool. So, congratulations to Robert and James and all, and also, you're getting a copy of the DVD, so congrats on that. Enjoy it. But like I said, again, Penguins Spy in the Huddle, a Nature special presentation. It's airing in 3 consecutive Wednesdays, September 24th, October 1st, and October 8th, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on PBS. And again, check your local listings. Now, after the broadcast, the episodes will be available for online streaming at pbs.org/nature. So you want to definitely check that out. And great honor to be speaking with Fred Kaufman. That was a really cool guy.
Absolutely. And like he said, think of the research that was done and that will be used. It's so remarkable.
Absolutely amazing. And, when he was talking, you could tell when he was talking about the penguins and everything that he did, he just painted that picture. And it really did make you want, listening on radio, you don't know the visual, but it made you want to actually go and watch this.
Yep.
So, once again, Fred Kaufman, executive producer for Nature, PBS. I'm Jon Patch.
I'm Dr. Suzanne Toper.
I'm Lexi Laff.
And the bear.
And we are open to your medical questions and your behavior questions about your pets. So pick up the phone and give us a call. When we come back, we're going to go to Robert, has a question about his dog. So we'll find out what that is. 844-287-2876 is our toll-free number. 844-287-2876. Pick up the phone and give us a call. This is Talkin' Pets.
Talkin' Pets. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
I'm not much of a reader, but I do wish I were more well-read.
There are so many great books coming out. I wish I could find a way to keep up.
Audible.com makes it easy to stay well informed and catch up on your reading simply by listening. Audiobooks from Audible turn downtime into uptime. You'll be more productive and become well-read.
Now I'm able to catch up on all the great books I've been wanting to read.
With Audible, I feel smarter.
Pet Life Radio listeners, try Audible.com now and get your first 30 days of Audible Listener Gold membership plan free. And get a free audiobook. Choose from over 100,000 titles. To get this great deal, go to audibledeals.com. That's audibledeals.com.
Hi, this is T.O.D. Anderson, and I'm the host of Get Positive Results on Pet Life Radio. We're going to talk about a variety of topics on canine behavior and training, all based on modern methods that are fun for you and your dog. We might be talking about other critters, too. So join us on Get Positive Results. We'll talk about common issues between you and your dog, answer your questions, discuss different activities you can do with your dog, and keep you posted on current canine news and products. All this on Get Positive Results on Pet Life Radio.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life
PetLifeRadio.com.
Radio.
And once again, you're listening to Talkin' Pets. I'm Jon Patch.
I'm Dr. Suzanne Topper.
I'm Lexi Lapp. That was Happy Feet.
And Freddie Mercury.
Is that from Happy Feet?
Yeah, I
is it?
played it from Happy Feet.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just telling me I need to find somebody to love.
No, Penguin.
Hey, the number is 844-287-2876. We just got done speaking with the executive producer of Nature, PBS, and we were talking about, of course, the Penguins, Spy in the Huddle. It's going to be on September 24th, the 1st and the 8th on PBS, so check it out, Nature PBS. And also, we gave a couple DVDs away to some listeners, of course, and Robert was one of them, and he's got a dog question for Dr. Suzanne Topper from Livingston Animal and Avian Hospital. And Robert, you're in, am I saying that right, is it Doniphan, Missouri?
Yeah, yes, sir, it is.
Cool, and congratulations on winning a DVD. You're going to love that series.
Oh, well, thank you.
We'll get that out to you. What's going on with your dog?
Well, she has these little kind of spots on her back, and they turn to scabs, and they seem to be getting bigger, or not bigger, but more of them. They're spreading out in a larger area, and they kind of turn to a scab, and she'll get underneath whatever she can find and rub.
Okay.
Like if you got your legs crossed, she'll rub under your foot, like they itch. And I'm just wondering if you have any idea what that might be.
Well, a couple things, and maybe more than one thing going on, Robert. And again, our disclaimer is we would never propose to give an actual diagnosis over the phone, but I can give you some ideas and then you can go to your veterinarian with her. But the thing that we see a lot with skin issues is, number one, allergies, allergic skin disease, and then a lot of the time, a high percentage of the time, the dog will get a secondary bacterial and or yeast or fungal infection, and that's because they traumatize the skin and the hair follicles, as you described. They'll rub and itch, and then the normal bacteria on the skin can overgrow, or they can get an infection, and they'll get a staph infection, what we call a pyoderma.
When you were talking about allergies and stuff like that, though, and he's saying on the top of the back, is it like a trait of like flea allergy dermatitis, for instance, if it's on the tail, like right above the tail on the backside?
Yes, John, that's common.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah.
just on the head side of her tail, towards the head.
Right.
And now they're spreading out, even down along her side a little bit.
Yeah, and that, Robert, there's so many things they can be allergic to, fleas being one of them, as John mentioned, and certain ones of them will have different distributions that'll give us a clue as to what might be a more common thing, but fleas, for sure, the base of the tail and the back part of the back end, that's very common. They'll lose hair, and they'll itch and scratch and get all red, and sometimes, of course, you'll see the fleas.
Doesn't seem to have lost any hair yet.
How old is she, Robert? How old is the dog?
She's 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah. Is this the first time she's done it, or is this a thing she's done before?
Well, it seems like she did it last summer, too.
Okay. So
and then
that,
during the
especially...
winter, it doesn't seem to be so prevalent.
Right. If it's seasonal like that, then very often it can be an allergy to something that's out that time of year, like weeds, grass, pollen, trees, molds, and we see that a lot. The only way to know exactly what is to allergy test them. But sometimes if it's seasonal, you can control them and, of course, treat the secondary infections with either medication or shampoos or a combination of those sorts of things.
I'm curious, Robert, do you have your dog also on like a flea medication?
Yes, sir. We treat her once a month with some stuff we send off and get. It's I can't think of the name of it, but it's something from a vet somewhere.
Okay, good. Then if it's coming from your vet, then it's a good medication to put on.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It should be good. It's expensive.
Yeah, we all know that.
Sometimes you get what you pay for, though, Robert.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Very true.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, but I would take her in because she may need some antibiotics or some other medication depending on, I always think of skin issues as layers of things. You can have an allergy and then you get a secondary bacterial or maybe even a yeast, and you have to kind of work through the layers and treat things until you get to the main problem and then address that one. So expect that it might take a little time, but you can certainly get her straightened out.
Okay, well, that's great. I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Robert, and enjoy the DVD from BBC Earth, Penguins Spy in the Huddle, because I know you won one of those, so enjoy it, and good luck with your dog.
Thank you very much. I
You're
will
welcome.
enjoy that.
Thanks, Robert, and thanks for tuning in.
Bye now.
That's Robert in Doniphan, Missouri. By the way, Robert, spread the word. Tell everybody else to tune in to Talkin' Pets here out in Missouri. We'd like to hear from you guys. 844-287-2876. 844-287-2876. I heard, doing the show so long and, with, different doctors and different people and so on and so forth. But I had one thing that someone told me, like when they have when a dog has like a skin problem like that, is you can take bath water, like fill your bath up, not all the way, of course, and then put like a cap, no more than a cap of Listerine and pour it in the water. And that little cap of Listerine in the water kind of helps the bacterial. I mean, that's like one of those home remedies, but
yeah,
I've heard it work, though.
I've heard it before, and I certainly don't see any harm unless the dog becomes more itchy, like sensitive to it or something. But the theory being, again, you're trying to cut down the bacteria on the skin. So,
right.
I've not ever done it, honestly, John, although I've heard it, but it would depend on how bad the infection was to me, too.
When you take the dog to the veterinarian like yourself, though, I mean, do you, when you give medications and stuff like that, how would you stop that dog from scraping that back and itching? No.
Yeah, that's a great question. And sometimes if just taking care of the bacteria alone, because the excess bacteria will make them itch, will help to relieve it. But very often we use antihistamines on them. In some cases, and again, you would never do this without your veterinarian, and if they're very severe, we may even have to use a little bit of steroids. There are some other wonderful drugs out there now that are going to be available to help with the itch cascade that you want to talk to your veterinarian about as well and see what's right with your dog. But yeah, there's a lot of things we can do.
Well, once again, you've been listening to Talkin' Pets. I want to thank Fred Kaufman, the executive producer from Nature PBS, for joining us. We're, of course, talking about the show that's going to be on PBS, so you can tune into that, which is a special series, and it's Penguins Spy in the Huddle. I'm Jon Patch.
I'm Dr. Sue Toper.
I'm Lexi Lapp.
Bear.
Spay neuter your pets, help control the pet population. If you're looking to adopt a pet, make sure you go to your local animal shelter or your rescue group and adopt from there. And don't forget, check out TalkinPets.com, no G in the Talkin', and join us on Facebook and Twitter.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.